Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is the Mental Wellness channel with Waihiga. If you're new here, I hope that you stick around and take a listen to what I have to share. Today, I want to talk about where I have been at. I'm back. The last the last few months have been really difficult, really difficult. I've been going through a lot of changes, a lot of self-actualization, self-realization. And I've come to the understanding that everything I thought I knew, I really don't know. And all my dependencies on people, places, and things, my dependencies on family, my dependencies on values, things that I thought were absolutes are actually not absolutes. We're almost at 6 years sober. I'm almost reaching 6 years sober. My sobriety birthday is the 2nd of July, and I'll be 31 on the 1st of July. And let me tell you, when I hit 30 years old last year, it's like something changed in my DNA. I went to bed 29 years old and I woke up at 30 years old like we're not playing around. The world was very cold. The world was very mean. And it's like God removed these blinders that I had. I blindly followed so many things for so many years, and I have been such a loyal follower of certain things, certain traditions, certain people, because society has enforced it or people have said, you must, you must, you must. But when I have started to look at people and places and things in terms of if they're serving me, if they're treating me right, if they're treating me with respect, if they are good for my mental health, that's when a lot of people have started falling away by the wayside. And the list is actually quite shocking. All my life, I have been told that I'm the difficult one. I'm the one with the problem. I'm the one who needs to fix things. And sure, at a certain point, definitely, I have to take that responsibility. I mean, after all, I am the alcoholic. After all, I do have bipolar disorder. But I've come to the realization that I'm not the only one with the issue. So after a lifetime of being told that I am the issue, I am the problem, and really criticizing myself, what I learned from a child growing up is that my intuition is always wrong, my inner voice is always wrong, and that people outside myself who I really looked up to know better than me. And that's not necessarily true. Actually, it's not true. My body has been telling me for years, this is a red flag. This is not the person to be around. This is not the situation to be in. But I have always just talked myself out of it because society says so, or because our African culture says so, or because our parents say so. And for me, those days are gone now. It's been a good 2 3 months of just processing, understanding, but more so a year of really coming into myself and being able to understand who Waihiga is. Because before I even got into sobriety, I had no identity. I was just an extension of my family. Like, I was a yes man. I had no identity, had no idea where I was going in life. I mean, I thought I did, but I really didn't. It was very hard to be myself around certain people. So, what I've done over the years is create a safe space for myself. And that safe space is in my room alone in the dark. Not many people have been able to see that Waihiga. That Waihiga can sing. That Waihiga can perform on a stage. That Waihiga sits down and does interviews with Oprah in her mind, because that Waihiga is very imaginative, very in her mind, very creative. And I have to be, because it's my safe space. When I'm running away from, when I'm surviving, I have to hide my gooey side. I have to hide my true self from vultures, from predators, from people who want to dim my light and who have always tried to dim my light, really. Just the antithesis, just me being born as who I am pisses people off. Now, if you find yourself in that position, if you find yourself that you have this personality where you're a truth teller, you say things as they are, you pow pow, you're pow pow, straight shooter, and people get easily offended or intimidated by you. The point isn't for you to shut down or dim your light. The point is to remove those people from your life. You will be so much happier if you do that. What I'm going through is not easy. It's not easy because on one hand I have the disease of alcoholism, and in the disease of alcoholism, just by the fact that I have the disease of alcoholism, just by the fact that I have bipolar type 2, sometimes I question my own thoughts. I do. I wouldn't lie about that. I do. I question my own thoughts. I'm a critical thinker. But at the same time, when something has been in you and has been fighting to come out of your body for so long, that it expresses itself through alcoholism, it expresses itself through depression, it expresses itself through addiction, it expresses itself through a cycle, a never-ending cycle of toxic relationships. That's when you have to sit back and kind of look at your life and say, what's going on here? Why am I attracted to such broken, low empathy people when I don't feel like I am that person? I'm not a low empathy person. So why am I attracted to such people? Why am I attracted to people who like to punish me with silent treatment? Why am I attracted to people who like passive aggression when I'm the opposite? I don't like passive aggression. I like people who tell me as it is. Because I learned it somewhere. Because I was conditioned from a young age to learn it somewhere. So when I start looking at that history, I start to understand, oh, wow, it was a setup, It was a setup. And basically, when I hit 30 years old, everything I thought I knew about friends, family, the facade that had been a picture perfect life, and I was the one with the problem. Everybody around me was perfect, and it was just Waihiga, the problem maker, the black sheep, the one with all the problems, who just brings all her problems to the forefront. I started to now look at the picture and see that I can't be the only person who has problems here. That makes no sense. That's when I started to go down the rabbit hole, as they say. And I've started to make certain realizations. And with certain realizations come certain decisions, obviously painful decisions, but decisions that have to be made. And at this point in my life, about to turn 31, about to be 6 years sober, I put all my trust in God. What I do know is that I cannot lean on my own understanding or way of life when it comes to the revelations that I know. I can't do that because I will mess it up. Yeah, I will mess it up. What I do know is that God is there. God has been there And God has to have my best interests at heart. God knows why he put me in the scenarios and the situations that I'm in. God knows why. God knows why I started this channel. I think I started this channel to reach as many alcoholics as possible. Maybe for God it's a different reason. But trusting God is basically, it's the scariest thing. I'm not going to lie, it's the scariest thing. It is resistance and fighting within myself and the world, and being angry and grieving and going back and forth, and finally saying, I'm tired. I can't go backwards either. You know, I'm between a rock and a very hard place. My options, what options are we even talking about? I don't have options. The only option is to trust God. I must. I mean, it gets to a certain point in your life where we all have vices. I trust God or I pick up a drink. And for me to pick up a drink is to die. And dying an alcoholic death is not sexy. It is horrific. It is long. It is painful. It is bit by bit by bit. It is so painful. And I don't want to go back to picking up a drink, picking up the phenomenon of cravings. Because the cravings come back, and they come back times a billion. To picking up the mental obsessions, the relentless thinking about drinking, to lose everything again, to lose a home, to lose a place to stay in, to lose my place in this world, to lose a purpose, to lose jobs, to lose recording for this channel, to lose my health, to lose my mind. To go back is to die. So is that an option for me? For me, that's not an option. To drink is to die. So the other option is to trust God. Trust that God works for the good of those who love him. Trust that God is in control. Trust that God knows what he is doing. Trust that even through the pain, God is giving me the grace, the serenity, the sobriety to get through what I need to get through. This is a lesson. This is a lesson. And it's the biggest battle. It's the biggest revelation I've ever had of my life. I mean, the things I've discovered is the reason why I started drinking to begin with. I'm not going to blame anyone for my alcoholism. That's absolutely nonsense. I chose to soothe my pain by drinking, and therefore I developed or became or am an alcoholic. That is on me. However, the trauma and the pain that got me to that point, that is still ongoing, is not all on me. What do you do when you're the only one who is working on your part? And you're with people who don't want to do their part, who can't do their part. What do you do? Because as I said, it is not an option to drink again. I don't have the answers. You know, the thing is to trust God. I'm petrified. Of course I'm petrified. Every single day I'm petrified. I'm back to 1 hour at a time. You know, a 12-step program is a program in which I got sober in. And I'd recommend that program to anyone. If you are struggling with alcohol right now, go on to Google right now. Look for a 12-step program. Find an online meeting right now via Zoom and get onto a 12-step meeting right now. For me, in the beginning of my sobriety, it was definitely not picking up a drink one day at a time. And now it's probably trusting God one day at a time, trusting that He has my best interests at heart, trusting that He will provide for me, trusting that He will sustain me, trusting that He will protect me, even in the midst of the madness, even in the midst of the chaos, even in the midst of the anger, that God is doing for you what you can't do for yourself. So I'm back. I'm back in business. I hope to see you in the next few videos. I definitely will be back all month long. I'm back from my hiatus. I just needed some time to take a breather. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. I hope that you subscribe. Please like this video, guys. Let us subscribe. Let us grow this community. Let us grow the mental wellness channel. Thank you so much for sticking through. Until the next video. All of my love. Bye.